Good evening, everybody. We call to order the meeting of April 15th, 2024, Norwalk WPCA, regular meeting. And we note that a quorum is present. Number one is called to order. Number two is public input. Are there any members of the public outside of the board and staff and our consultant that would like to make any comments or ask any questions?
There is not.
There is not. Okay. Number three, approve the meeting minutes of the Norwalk WPCA of March 2018, 18th, 2024. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
By Mr. Igneri, almost by Mr. Freyer. Okay, are there any comments, questions, or corrections to the meeting minutes?
None.
None. Hearing none. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
I see Ostafine, Igneri, Bovee. I do not see Manella and Freyer.
Both hands are raised.
Freyer, okay, Manella's good. I see Manella now. Freyer?
I'm good.
Okay, now I see it. Thanks. When you speak, then I can see you. Thank you. Okay, that passes unanimously. It is 5:32, and we're done with the business. Is there, can we go into contract reports? Veolia.
Good evening, everyone. Matt Brown, project manager with Veolia. Let's start with an update on the collections operations. We completed all the hotspot cleaning, or the heavy the areas we clean every quarter in the month of March. We also completed 1.73 miles of TV inspection, about a half mile of cleaning, 12 manhole inspections, and about a half mile of LRAT. Again, most of our resources went into cleaning hotspots and other things during the month that don't count towards those numbers. The IPP inspection, we completed 38 fog inspections during the month of March. The backup float systems were installed at Keeler Brook, Winfield, Red Oak, and Bethel Street. What those are is we have automatic level controls for our SCADA system, but we've never really had a backup to those. So if they were to fail at those stations, we scramble, send somebody there, and try to rectify the situation. What this will do is put a simple float in there, and when the float, if for any reason there's an issue, the backup float system will go on, and when a float tips, it'll turn on the pumps, and when it goes down, it'll turn off. So it's a good backup to our standard transducers and digital level control that we have. I'm sure everyone's aware we had a heck of a lot of rain in March. The facility did experience 3 significant rain events. On March 6th, we activated our second outfall or storm flow for 13 hours. When we discharged a total of 3.22 million gallons over that duration. On March 9th, again, a few days later, it activated again for a total of 24 hours, discharging about 7.5 million gallons. And then again on March 23rd, we activated our storm event 002 outfall for 8 hours and 45 minutes and discharged just around 5 million gallons. We collected all the samples and did everything we needed to do during those storms. Because of the heavy rain in the month, you'll notice the average flow for the month was high at 19.6, but that's due to the 3 heavy rain events and the weather itself. We're hoping going forward that with the warmer weather coming, it's going to dry things up and our flow will get back down to the 12-13 million gallon a day range. Other than that, it was a pretty straightforward month. On the agenda, you'll see some major repairs and replacement. Sammy Street pump station pump repair. That pump has been sent out for repair, and we're expediting it, and we're hoping to get it back hopefully by the end of the month. And then the yard hydrant replacement. There's yard hydrants throughout the facility. Those allow us to hose things down and clean off tanks, clean off surfaces, wash away greases, fats, oils, and greases from the tops of tanks. Some of them are, 30, 40 years old, And we, instead of replacing them all, we're just gonna replace some key ones we need, just to keep the operation moving before the full upgrade of that area in the coming years. Other than that, that's all I have. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Anybody have any questions? I have a question. I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I'm genuinely curious. We're doing a lot of stuff like disconnecting storm drainage. Did you ever notice anything measurable yet?
One thing I've noticed is the duration of the storm and the amount of flow. The flow seems much lower during the duration of the storms.
So you did
Um,
see something, and
I think-
you would say it's probably measurable.
I think so. I think Ralph could better answer that because I've only been here 4 years since we started, but I absolutely think everything we're doing is helping. Would you agree, Ralph? I don't want to put you on the spot, but
I mean,
No,
I'd just like to acknowledge 19 million gallons. It's hard to notice a garden hose. I acknowledge that, but is there any, do we see anything, any fruit?
So Darren, if you go back maybe 10 years, 12 years, starting in 2005, the city and the WPCA board started to put capital into the collection system, started doing aligning projects, sanitary sewer rehab, miscellaneous repairs. And over the years, we used to have an annual average flow of over 14 million gallons a day. And that's going back more than 10 years. Now we're averaging anywhere from 12 to 13 on an average year with all the development that's come into Norwalk in the last 10 years. So it's a dynamic system. There's a lot of variables, but we have noticed a decline based on all the infrastructure improvements that the team has done over the years.
I
That's
think it's
awesome.
I think it's hard to compare the last 5 or 6 months to the last 20 years anywhere, because the amount of rain is just so substantial. I think the
Yes.
plant, it does skew your numbers when they're higher. I think the plant's has run awesome during all this, to be honest with you. I would like to obviously stay at 12 million gallons every month like the rest of us, but I definitely think if you look at the storm events themselves while the rain's coming down, even 4 years ago, and correct me if I'm wrong, Ralph, I feel that the plant would have been inundated more, if you will, with more flow throughout these durations of time based on the amount of rain we got. And I think the data backs that up.
And another thing to add, our pump stations are operating during these storm events. They're being well maintained. We're not having SSOs. We do have outfall 002 at the treatment plant has activated, like Matt said earlier, but there is no SSOs to report. So overall, the collection system and pump station is doing very, very well.
Yeah, typically these rain events in the past, mainly prior to us being here, but I do see the data. You could have several SSOs in these rain events. I think the system handles rain events much better than it has in the past, and the data clearly reflects that.
That's awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Ralph, you're up. Number 5, reports. I'm sorry, you're done, Mr. Brown. Nobody had any questions for Mr. Brown? Aside from me?
Thank you.
Everybody good? Okay. Number 5, reports.
Yep, on reports, we have the fiscal year 23-24 revenues and expenditures report. A copy of that is included if there's any questions. On the discussions on the WPC engineering projects, we have the Catch Basin Disconnect program. We're currently coordinating with Brown and Caldwell to finalize the report for that program, kind of come up with our plan to move forward. For the Hubble's Lane Relief Sewer Project, which consists of 1,100 feet of new relief sewer along Smith Street and Hubble's Lane. It's approximately 500 linear feet of 36-inch, 600 linear feet of 60-inch. We're currently moving from 60% to 90% design with Brown and Caldwell. So working with them to finalize the drawings and the specifications. On the Beacon Street sanitary sewer, Brown and Caldwell did a survey of the area, and they're going to be doing some modeling to kind of give us some more information on that site. The Keeler Brook Pump Station Replacement Project, we just applied for the wetlands permit on April 8th. So that is moving forward. on the permitting side. Then we have discussions on the construction projects. So I have some slides on that I'll present in a moment. Let's go to this. Can you see my oh,
Yes, we can
My
see the
screen?
screen.
okay, yep. So we're just going to focus on the CIPP lining work that has been ongoing. This kind of shows the progress that we've made since the start of the project. So they've completed around 13% of the total for the 8-inch piping, and completed lining 26% of the total for the 10-inch. And so that's 12% of the total project. So we're making good progress. Here we have some photos. We see them pulling the liner out of the truck here. They're installing the liner into a manhole. Here we have some tripod setups here. The liner is currently, in the pipe. They're most likely curing it. And here we have some cones, just see the traffic setup that, safety is a big concern. Make sure we have lots of cones to protect the public. And the next step is likely that they would cut the liner out and then cut out all the lateral connections to finalize that section of lining. This shows some of the manhole rehab work that's also ongoing as part of the project. These are some newly rehabilitated manholes, so they are in good shape. So those are the updates on the construction projects. And then for the pump station projects, Old Trolleyway is back online as of April 8th. And they've completed the pump startup that was on April 8th, as well as putting the SCADA back online. And they're just finalizing some punch list items and cleaning up the site at this point. And we have the sewer use appeals and adjustments. Sorry, actually, if there's any questions, let me know. I'm moving
Anybody
to
have any questions?
if there's any questions.
No questions. Okay, I have one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I noticed that you added a lot of lining. There was a column called added, and I assume you did that because as you did your TV work, you found other areas that needed it. Is that accurate?
So the original scope that we didn't included about 7,000 feet of pipe that we found after having in situ form in town and doing their CCTV and cleaning work. They identified 7,000 feet that's PVC or previously lined. So we took that work out of the scope, and then we added the Marvin Beach area, and we're adding some additional locations. So that's why we have some additional footage of about 10,000, I believe.
Got it. Do you need us for anything, or you have plenty of money?
Because we got a credit for the footage that we took out. We're well right now. We're below
Oh,
the
I see.
contingency levels.
Got it. Any other questions from the board? No? Okay, it is 5:44 p.m. We're on item number 6. Are there any questions on the agenda, anything on the agenda or anything not on the agenda? Anything anybody wants to bring up? No. Hearing none. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Jim Freyer, I'm so moved.
What? You mind if I give it to Mr. Freyer? I saw a couple hands go up, but okay, by Mr. Freyer. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Okay, I'm going to call that unanimous. And it is 5:45. The meeting is adjourned. Thanks for showing up, everybody. We got it done, and see you in June.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Good night,
everybody.
everybody.